Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today we are doing a full face of brand new makeup. I had quite the collection here. Some things I purchased, some things were sent to me and gifted to me. I thought I had enough to sit down and do a full face. So let's go ahead and get started. I have zero makeup on. That's not true. I have eyebrows on. I have eyebrows, but that is it. So we are gonna get started with the Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation. This is not brand new. You guys know that I love this. I tested this a few weeks ago and loved it, and I'm using it again. And actually, someone pointed out to me in that video that I did a video on this foundation like a year or so ago, and I just completely forgot, because that's what happens when you test and try so much makeup. Sometimes you forget about things. And it's interesting because I must have not have had the same reaction back then that I had when I tested this a month ago, because I would have remembered it and kept using it. But my skin has dramatically changed in the last year, so perhaps that is why I love this even more. And by the way, I'm the shade CN52 Neutral. What I love about this product, so it just gives a really beautiful skin-like look. It gives excellent coverage right off the bat. You really don't need to add a lot of product to get good coverage, but it is buildable. It's a serum foundation and it has that typical serum texture to it, which is really lightweight and just luxurious on the skin. I mean, if you think about a skincare serum product and how like good that feels on your skin, that's how this feels in a foundation. And I don't think that I could have found a better match for my skin. I actually think that this is probably the best matching foundation that I own. It literally just disappears into my skin. And I'm using the BK Beauty 101 and I'm just bouncing it onto the face. I changed my background. Do you guys like it? I used something, I used like a brighter fabric. I had more of a rosy fabric, but I was noticing that my background was just kind of looking a little like brown. And so we brightened it up and I think I like it. I think I like it. This is actually my first video to film with it. Oh my gosh, the skin just looks so good. So good. Someone asked me the other day on Instagram, they're like, you literally have a new favorite foundation every day. And I was like, okay, I get the tone there. But you know what? She was a little right, because I have been talking a lot about just amazing foundations that I've loved. And you know what? My response to that is like, I test and try so many things, you know, 4 or 5 new foundations a month, and there's just some really great product out there. So maybe I use the word favorite too loosely. Yeah, that's my response to that. Okay, so let's go in with this new concealer, and this is a brand new product. I've actually had this for a couple of weeks now, and this is my first time using it. It is the Urban Decay Naked Quickie up to 24-hour concealer. I have this shade 40 NN, and I can tell that it's probably gonna be a little too light. Ooh, yeah, it is gonna be a little too light, darn. Okay, we're gonna do it because this is what I have. So I'm just gonna go, and I've never used this before, so I don't wanna apply too much. I kinda wanna get a feel for the coverage and the finish of it before I really go like all in. Oh, this color is so light. It's difficult when I get the wrong shade in concealer because I feel like I can't give it a fair review. Because when you get a concealer that's too light, it's not gonna cover dark circles as well as the right shade would, despite of it being the same formula. Because lightness, when you have something that's too light and you put it over something that's really dark, it kind of creates this like gray cast. This is actually covering pretty well though. Ooh. Okay, this is nice. This blends out really quickly, very easily. It has like a soft matte finish. It doesn't feel, there's a little bit of tackiness to it when you touch it, but it doesn't feel like uber creamy concealer. It actually has a really soft matte finish to it. Looks pretty. It kind of, like, I want to say it almost softened texture. I wouldn't say it totally blurred texture, but I have more of a, I feel like a velvety finish underneath the eyes. I actually don't know much about this product, and it doesn't say much on the packaging. So I'm just giving you my experience and how I perceive this product. Sometimes I think when I do too much research on a brand new product, it kind of subconsciously influences how I think about it or feel about it. And I'm just gonna tell you what I'm experiencing, which is good coverage, blends out quick and easily, and a soft matte finish. Doesn't feel as heavy as like Shape Tape, but it kind of gives that same finish. Very nice. Okay, next we're gonna go in with a bronzer. I bought the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Bronzer, and I'm really excited to try this. This is something I ordered a few weeks ago and I've been meaning to try it. So I got the shade Sunbeam. This is what it looks like. It's in the little squeeze tube. Let's squeeze this out and see what this product is all about. Ooh, Ooh, I love this color. This is a nice color. It's got some warmth to it, but it's not too orangey. It's actually translating a little warmer on screen. I'm looking at the screen right here, and it looks a little warmer on there than it does in person. I like the tone of it. I'm gonna go in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna squeeze it on the back of my hand. I'm gonna use a 109 brush to apply it, BK Beauty 109 brush, and I'm just gonna go right into using the tip of this. And we're just gonna bounce it on the cheek. It's called a moisturizer bronzer. So my thought is that it'll be kind of sheer, easy to blend, natural. Ooh, that's pretty. Very soft and natural and sheer. My idea for buying this product was that it would be a good product to wear when I don't have foundation on, you know, when I'm just wearing bare skin or maybe a tinted SPF, because it would give me a little bit of color to the face, but not look like I've put on makeup or bronzer. It's very natural, it's very easy to blend, but not too natural. It's about medium. It's nice and sheer and lighter than a cream bronzer, but it's not super sheer. It's actually kind of perfect. I'm kind of torn here on what I want to use. So Kjaer Weis sent me several of their cream blushes. I purchased one of my own. I think it was the shade Blossoming. This one, and I talked about it here on YouTube maybe a month or so ago. And they were so nice enough to send me a bunch of goodies. So I am going to be playing and testing some of their products in today's video. They sent me 4 blushes of this formula that I love. And I wanted to show you the options you have for packaging. So when you purchase the blush, it comes in a little pan, just a little refillable pan. And then you have the option of purchasing this packaging for it to put your product in, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's so weighted and heavy. Oh, it's just gorgeous. This is like 20 something dollars. Or you have the option to purchase the simple lightweight packaging, which is what I ended up purchasing when I bought it. It's a little magnetic closure. It's still really cute, really nice. It's got that nice magnetic detail to it. And this is around $8, I think. This is by the brand OG. Am I saying that right? I don't really know how else I would pronounce that. OG, O-G-E-E. I've been real curious about this brand. I've been seeing it all over social media. Really nice, heavy weighted packaging. Kind of reminds me of Westman Atelier. I purchased the cream blush stick. I also purchased the cream bronzer stick. And then I also purchased the lipstick. It's a refillable lipstick. I think I'm gonna use this. This is really pretty. I already swatched it on my hand. I'm gonna use both blushes. I can't decide, and I wanna use them both. So we'll go in with the OG. This is the Hydroganics Sculpted Face Stick in the shade Pink Diamond. Let me swatch it on my hand for you guys. So I haven't worn this on my cheeks, but I have played with it a little bit. And I will say when I first swatched it, like the very first swatch, I was like, I don't think I like this. I didn't get a whole lot of pigment, but then I kind of swatched a little bit and I felt like there was almost like a seal to the top of it. And once you break that seal, you get a really beautiful formula. It seems to be more on the sheer side. It's not as pigmented as the Westman Atelier. I'm just gonna do a back and forth once with the Westman Atelier, and then I'm gonna do a back and forth once with the OG so you can see the difference. Just so you can see, now the colors aren't identical, but you can see the Westman Atelier dispenses a lot more pigment than the OG one. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's just different. Sometimes having less pigment might be of preference for some people. It can be easier to blend out. It can obviously give a more natural, kind of flushed from within look less like makeup, look more like your natural cheeks are flushing. So an observation, but not a criticism, okay? I just wanna be really clear about that. All right, now let's go in with this. I'm gonna have my BK Beauty 112 brush ready, and I'm gonna go straight to the cheeks because, again, I feel like this formula is on the more sheer side, and I applied quite a bit. I'm just gonna blend it out with my 112. Okay, very pretty. There's a lot of glow to the skin. The formula, even though it's less pigment, it does feel a little of a thicker cream than the Westman Atelier, but very beautiful, very soft, and a little bit of a glow. Very, very easy to blend out. Okay, next we're gonna go in with the Kjaer Weis blush. I'm gonna use one of the new shades they sent me. Let's see. I want to use something bright and poppy because I typically shy away from those colors. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I want to tell a fun little story about these blushes. I was at Whole Foods this weekend, and Denise, if you're watching this, please leave a comment. And I was getting into my car, and this really beautiful woman was like, Lisa. Anyway, she's a subscriber and a viewer of my channel, and she was telling me that she tried a Kjaer Weis, and she said that she loves the blushes. She's like, I love my Westman Atelier too, but she said she preferred this better. She said that this actually wore longer on her than the Westman Atelier did. But she's like, don't get me wrong, I still love the Westman Atelier, but this one I actually prefer a little better. I'll be honest, when I put my makeup on in the day, like I'm just go, go, go all day, that I rarely look up until like the end of the day. So I've never done like a comparison wear test between the two, or really actually made any observation of one wearing better than the other. Ooh, that is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. So I'm gonna do that. Maybe that'll make a good video. Put one on one side, the other on the other, and see how it wears throughout the day. Okay, this color is amazing. I got a little carried away. I need to go grab my foundation brush and kind of blend out the bottom of that a bit. This is beautiful. So what I love about this formula, I would say this has more pigment than the OG. It's a thinner formula. They both give a really beautiful glow to the skin. They're both buildable because they are more sheer than like a typical cream blush, but you can build it to get a good amount of pigment. So if you're someone that likes a lot of color, don't be turned off that these are more on the sheer side because you can build it to get it. But of the two, I would say this one packs on a little bit more pigment. Okay, let's move along. Okay, so next I'm gonna set everything. I'm gonna go in with the Say Beauty loose powder just to lightly set the center of the face. This is a really beautiful microfine powder, very sheer. I have the shade medium, it's translucent, and I'm using a large BK Beauty 104 brush. I'm just gonna kind of bounce it on my hand just so I get off any excess powder. I really don't want to apply excess powder. I want to keep that really pretty shine and glow. I cannot get over my cheeks. I cannot get over my cheeks. Okay, I'm gonna have to even myself out. This one has a lot more color than this one. They're both beautiful, but it's kind of preference. What do you like? Do you like a stick? Do you like a compact? Next, I'm gonna go in with this little mini palette from Tarte. This is the Tartelette Jewel palette. This was sent to me in PR. This is what the shades look like. Really pretty, neutral. You've got some like purple and kind of rosy shades in there, some matte and some shimmers. So first I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna build a crease and give some definition. So I'm gonna go in with this shade Stacked. It's a soft medium matte brown. I'm just gonna sweep that right into the crease. I'm using a BK Beauty 212 brush. This has become my go-to crease brush for that first transition shade. You know, when I want kind of a diffused effect. It's really like soft and fluffy and has a rounded tip, so it's really gonna just buff out and kind of give that airbrush look. It's larger, but it's not too large. So it's good if you've got, you know, kind of medium shaped eyes or medium eyes. If you have smaller eyes, I would go with something like the 202. If you have larger eyes, I'd go with the 201. This brush is actually kind of a hybrid of the two brushes. It's about the shape of the 202. I'm sorry, it's about the size of the 202, but it's got a rounded head like the 201. So because you have that rounded head, it's a little more, it covers a little more space. Okay. So we're just gonna blend that into the crease. Okay, next we're gonna go in and I'm gonna create some outer corner definition. I'm also gonna bring that shade over to the center of the lid and I'm using the shade Lavish. It's this really pretty matte, kind of purpley, rosy shade. And I'm just gonna go in with the 209. It's a tiny little shader brush. You could call this a shader or a large smudger. You could use it for both. I'm gonna use it as a shader brush. And we're gonna just kind of press that onto the outer corner. Because it's smaller, it's gonna take me a little bit more time, but it's also going to pack on that color pretty intensely. You could always use a brush that's a similar size but larger, like the 203. It'll do the job quicker, but you're not gonna get this really rich, like intense payoff. You're gonna get a lighter application. I love this color of purple, this like really warm, pinky purple. It's just stunning on blue or green eyes. Now I'm not worried about blending it out yet, so right now you're gonna see this kind of messy look. Right now I'm just worried about packing on the color where I want it. I'm gonna go back with a blending brush to soften all the edges. Okay, all right, so again, it's messy. The idea here is just that we're consistent, that we have about the same amount of color and we have it applied in the same kind of area. Next, we're gonna go back in with the 212, and I'm just gonna run it in the crease and then also right here in the center of the lid, just to soften that area where the shadow stops. So now that I'm looking at it, I need to soften it. It's a little chunky, so I'm gonna go back into that shade with this brush, and we're just gonna pack it down on the outer corner and buff in little circles. So this is a beautiful color. The formula is a little challenging to blend out. Let's go ahead and apply the lighter color, then we'll come back and perfect. We're gonna do this lightest shade right here. It's called Brilliant, and it's one of the highly kind of foiled shadows. Ooh, it's really pretty. It looks like a warm peachy shade. Do you see how much light reflects off of that? So beautiful. I'm actually gonna use my finger to apply this. We're gonna use our ring finger and we're just gonna pack this onto the inner corner. So things look good from afar. When I'm up close, it looks a little patchy and not quite blended very well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the shade Precious. It's similar to the one we just applied, but it's a different tone. It's more of like this mid-tone, rosy, taupey pink. And I'm gonna use a shader brush. This is the A501, and I'm just gonna kind of press this into the center of the lid to kind of merge those two shades together, that dark matte shade and that like really light foiled shade. This is gonna give a little more of a streamlined blend, seamless blend, tie the two shades together. Now I'm not sweeping, I'm literally just kind of pressing, loading the side of the brush up and pressing. Okay, this shade is beautiful. Okay, that's gorgeous. All right, and then last, we're gonna go back and just do that last effort of blending. I didn't add anything to this, I'm just using it to really blend out. I do wanna highlight underneath the eyebrow, mainly also to kind of soften this crease. I'm gonna just go in with a light kind of eggshell shade, and we're just gonna softly sweep this under the brow. I don't want it to be too intense. I don't want to have like this white stark shadow underneath my brow, but I do want to have a little brightness, and I also want to soften that crease a tiny bit. I'm gonna take my concealer brush. I didn't add anything to it, but I'm just using it to kind of clean up the side a bit. So I'm just kind of running it upwards. This will just kind of sharpen, but give a soft sharpen edge to the shadow. So you're not getting that really cut like line like you would get if you use like tape or something, but you are getting a little bit of a subtle cleanup. Oh, gorgeous, so pretty. Next, we're gonna go in and line the eyes, and I'm using a pencil from Kjaer Weis. I'm gonna use the black. They sent me two shades. They sent me black and brown, but the look is pretty, you know, I've got a little drama going here in the eyes, so I think it can handle a nice black. Now this is a traditional pencil. It is not mechanical, just your traditional wooden pencil. It has a nice sharp tip because it's brand new. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna use the side of that pencil to create my line. I usually don't use black, but I think it'll work today. Okay, so the black is really nice and intense. I would say the level of creaminess is kind of medium. Like it's not really waxy and super creamy or soft, but it's definitely like applying nicely on my skin. It's not dry at all. There's nothing I'm always disappointed when I use either a lip pencil or eye pencil. I feel like I see it more in eye pencils, and it's a really dry formula and you cannot get it onto the eye. You really shouldn't have to pull the eyelid so that you can put a lot of pressure. You should really just be able to rest it on there and softly, you know, sketch the line and get the product off. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice formula. Not too waxy or creamy, but just enough creaminess to glide on nicely. That's nice. I am gonna go back and blend it though. I'm gonna use we're just gonna use a 204 smudger brush. And I'm gonna use the shade that we used in my crease, that medium brown, and we're just gonna softly run it over this line. Yeah, so I would describe that as kind of a traditional eye pencil. I wouldn't describe it as like a really waxy eye kohl. It's definitely more of a traditional pencil, but it's creamier than a traditional pencil. Does that make sense? Oh, that's so pretty. I love that. I'm super excited to try this next product because when I shared in stories that I got a lot of these products, one of my closest and dearest friends, who's also a makeup artist, said that this mascara was the best. This is from Kjaer Weis. I haven't tried it. This is literally the first time I will apply this. Okay, this is what the brush looks like. Lots of tiny little teeth there. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, good drama. Lots of volume. What do you guys think? Oh, wow, I can see a difference on the screen in my mascara and my eyes. Wow, okay, lots of volume, a lot of volume. I'm getting length too, but the volume is really what's standing out to me. Okay, so I built it up quite a bit. A really beautiful volumizing mascara. You're definitely gonna get some length, but I think this mascara's strongest advantage is the volume that it gives. So if you have long lashes already, but they're thin or sparse and you're always looking for a volumizing lash, this is a good one. Okay, so I built it up quite a bit. A really beautiful volumizing mascara. You're definitely gonna get some length, but I think this mascara's strongest advantage is the volume that it gives. So if you have long lashes already, but they're thin or sparse and you're always looking for a volumizing lash, this is a good one. Okay, I'm gonna build a little more. It's not getting clumpy at all, and I've layered quite a bit. It also gives a nice separated look. Like it kind of looks like a short false lash to me is what it looks like. Lots of volume. That's really beautiful. Let's move along to lipstick. Okay, so Kjaer Weis did send me some of their lipsticks. I'm gonna go in with the OG one today, but I did wanna show these off. So they sent me 4 of their lipsticks. The bullets are really beautiful, very weighted, similar to the blush compacts. They sent me a couple of shades. They sent me the shade Blossomy. I'm gonna swipe this on my hand. I actually used this one yesterday. It's a little too like pale peachy pink for me. I'd need to add a lip liner to this to give me more color, but this is what it looks like. It's kind of like a real like pastel peachy pink. I like the tone, I just need it to be a little darker. And then they sent me this shade right here. This is Effortless. This looks like a really pretty, ooh, this is a really beautiful, ooh, the formula is nice on this one. It's a really pretty kind of neutral corally shade. Lots of pigment on that one. And then they sent me Sucre. I might be saying that incorrectly. Let me show this one to you. Are these different formulas? Because the other one felt a little creamier. Maybe they're not different formulas. That middle one felt super creamy. Okay, this one is a really pretty, kind of pinky, lighter red shade. It's pretty. And then they sent me a deeper, like classic red. Let me show you this one. This one looks gorgeous. This is the shade Adore. Ooh, this is pretty. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is super creamy and pigmented. It has a little bit of shine to it also. That's really pretty. So I am going to pop on OG. I did want to swatch those for you. I need to go and try some more of their lipsticks. It's just the shade range in these isn't a shade that I would wear every day. It really isn't my shade, but the formula's nice. Okay, let's go in and wear, okay, I've got OG here. So these are refillable, by the way. It came in this little box set and it had this, and then you insert it in here. The shade that I got is Zuri. All right, and I have a little bit of City Beauty lip plumper on my lips already. Ah, I love this color. Ooh, that's pretty. So having that lip gloss on first is definitely gonna sheer this out. I like this. I had to work pretty hard to get the pigment out though, but I think it's because I had that lip gloss. I actually really like this color. Let me remove everything and work on a dry lip so I can see how this lipstick actually goes on the lips. Much better. Yeah, so if your lips have a gloss or a balm on it, and that's gonna be the case with any lipstick, it's gonna be a lot more sheer than applying it with a dry lip. Okay, I love this color. It's a fun kind of bubblegum pink. The formula is really nice. I would say it's not super pigmented right off the bat, but it's definitely not sheer. It's kind of in the middle there, but you can layer it a couple times to get opaque finish. And it's super lightweight. It doesn't feel like a thicker formula or a thicker pigmented form. It actually it kind of feels like a lip balm on the lips, honestly, you guys, but it looks like a lipstick. This is really nice. I love this. I love this color too. It is a little bit more pink than I typically wear, but I really like it. So this is the finished look. Let's do a real quick recap of the products that really kind of jumped out to me. Not a first impression because I've already shared this recently, but this foundation is so good. You guys really love that. This concealer, definitely want to play with this some more. It's difficult for me to give a full endorsement on a concealer that I've only been having on for 30 minutes or so, but initially the application is really nice. It does have more of a matte finish though. It's not a real creamy, radiant concealer. I would say it's more of a matte and lighter than the Shape Tape. It also has this applicator on the end of it, but I don't really, yeah, that's way too dense and stiff, but I do like it. The blush, these blushes are beautiful, and the shade that I applied today is so stunning. It's a really like kind of poppy peachy pink with some gold shimmer to it. I will pop out the name of it and I will drop it in the description box below. The OG, it's nice as well. It's a little too sheer for my own personal preference. You know, I think it'd be really beautiful for the days that I don't want to wear foundation, but when I have foundation on, I find myself needing to layer it a little bit to get the color that I want. But if you like a really tint of a cheek color, this is nice. What else? This bronzer, you guys. Laura Mercier, this little tinted bronzer. I really like this formula. It's really soft and sheer and natural. Good for the days where you don't really want to wear a lot of makeup or you want to keep things really light and natural. So those are the products that really stood out to me as kind of my favorites of this video. I'm excited to try their facial oil. They sent me their facial oil, but I wanted to wait until I can go and purchase the cream foundation because I've heard from a couple of people that this combination, foundation and the facial oil together, is just like perfection. So I'm gonna go pick that up later today or tomorrow, and I'll do a follow-up video on how this wears. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll list all the products that I used along with all the shade names in the description box down below. If you have any experience with any of these products and you wanna leave some input, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, it's really great for us to all share our experiences with the products because makeup is very personal. What I love, you might not like, and it might not work for you. So let's share the love and chat down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.